When they say there's all kinds of different aspects of racing here at the 2018 PRI Show, they're not kidding. And right now we are joined at the V8TV Stage with Schumacher Racing top fuel driver, Mr. Matt Hagan.
Hey, thanks guys.
And also Eddie Olsen, who's the Motorsports Marketing Manager for Dodge and Mopar.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I got all that right?
You got all that right. I know it's a long title.
It's a great title, and all the words kind of sound the same. So
yes.
Welcome to the stage, and welcome to PRI 2018.
It's glad to be here. You know, it's there's just so many fans, like folks that we see all the time and engage with at the racetrack. You know what I mean? And to see them out here at the show and kind of mix it up, and you know, just talking with some of the folks that help put the parts and pieces together for us on the race car. And you see the guys behind the scenes that are making the parts and pieces and out here hustling it and selling it and trying to, obviously, we're trying to get free parts too, you know what I mean? But it's one of those things where it's just nice to see everybody. It's nice to be out here at 2018 PRI Show. I mean, it's a pretty cool deal.
I think it's pretty cool for a guy like you who is using some of these upper level extreme parts to their fullest potential to be able to talk to the people that are making them and designing them and make that connection.
For sure, and you know what's something that's really cool is Mopar is going to come out with this you know, direct connect now. They're working hard behind the scenes. I actually saw a poster with old school, I guess it was 80 something, where they had direct connect back in the day, you know what I mean? And you know, so we're working really hard on, you know, Mopar is all about muscle and, you know, power and race car and just, you know, like just drag racing, you know, and now you can go out here and you can pick out a car you want to run 9 seconds. Well, here we got a program you can do that. You can just plug it in and play. We'll send you the parts and pieces, and then you're out there on the racetrack making it happen, you know. And then after that, it's up to you how good a driver you are, you know. But the thing about that is like the parts and the pieces and the people behind the scene and seeing that kind of stuff. It really is cool to put a handshake out there and a face to a name, and you know, you make those relationships. And you know, at the end of the day, we do drive extreme stuff. It's 300 miles an hour. This dude here is paying the bills, but we're blowing them up and different things like that. But they got to be good and strong enough to make sure that we get in that race car and we stay alive, first of all, but second of all, we go fast enough to win the race. You know. Oh
yeah. Well, it's great that Mopar does a great job of reconnecting a lot of the nostalgic names, brands, colors, shapes. I remember vividly getting my direct connection catalog and looking up the old Mopar purple cam, and you know, those are the parts you bought. No way in my wildest dreams would I have thought that you could buy a factory-built 9-second car.
Yeah, and I mean, for us, it's really important to be here to showcase all of that. We just debuted our 1,000 horsepower Elephant engine that you can buy from us. But, you know, it's just amazing. And then to look back and draw on the history of where we come from to bring it to where we're going is even more important.
Well, again, the history is so rich with Mopar and racing and muscle cars and performance. I'll share a very quick funny story. We produce a show called Muscle Car of the Week, where we have an access to a tremendous collection of muscle cars. A couple guys that own double digits worth of Hemi Cuda convertibles and Hemi Challengers, right? So like the top, you know, 70 cars. And these were 426 Hemi cars, 2 4-barrels, made 425 horsepower. Show a video on YouTube. One of the comments is, 425, where's my 700, 800, or 9, now 1,000 horsepower that I can buy at my dealer locally? You know?
Yeah. With a warranty.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's mind-bending.
We've come a long way.
And it's not just performance parts, it's also cars.
Right. We actually have 4 cars on display here. We have an original Duster. We have our new drag pack that we have, not new, but it's our drag pack that we have with a new wrap on it. We have the new 1320, which is a factory drag car. We call it a baby demon. So it has drag suspension, does 11.72 from the factory.
Nice.
Naturally aspirated.
What engine's in that?
It's a 6.4 liter 392.
Right on.
And then we have another demon that is just there for show, but it has a parachute on it, so people might want to check it out.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then just right down the road at Dodge Schumacher Racing, we got a bunch of 11,000 horsepower race cars sitting down the road, right?
Those too, yeah. But
we're right in the heart of it all here.
They all have that M on them.
That's it.
They all have that M.
Yeah, too cool.
Sure.
So it's nice that you guys are showing parts and cars. So what's the scoop with the resurrection of the direct connection name?
When we wanted to bring back a recipe card for it, what else to bring back a historical name that everyone knows and makes sense, right?
Yep.
So why not?
That's cool. So are we talking about kind of the performance parts division or catalog, or just kind of the brand for these parts now is going to fall into that, or how are they going to use that name, I guess is the bigger question.
I think they're going to use it very much like they did in the past.
Yeah.
You'll have the same feel to how it was. You'll be able to say you want, your car to go this fast, and here are the parts you need to do it.
Yeah, that's great.
We want to make it easier for you to take parts from our catalog and put it on your car.
Sure. Well, and what was really cool is, again, back in the late 60s and early 70s, you opened up the Scat Pack ad, and here was the recipe. Here's step one. You want to go this fast? Here are these 5 things that you need to have right now, and here's where to get them. So that takes a lot of the guesswork.
Well, and that's just the basics. I mean, obviously you can go in there and plug and play with a lot of different things, and spend all the money you want, obviously. But at the end of the day, like, they can put a combination together that says, hey, we know this is going to, tried and true and proven out there on the racetrack, and we got cars that are out there doing it, and here's how you guys can get there. Obviously it's all still in the works, and it's still a big idea, but Mopar, about them and with Dodge and everything else, they're innovators. They're thinking ahead. They're wanting to grow this out here with our fans, and obviously, well, everybody wants to make money, but we want to provide a good product to our fans that are drag racing people. That's where our heritage comes from, and so you don't put something together that you're going to disappoint somebody with. These people, they want to go fast, they want to have horsepower, they want to do all that kind of stuff, and Mopar is that brand where they can buy that power and go out there with a street car, something you can buy off the floor, and put these parts and pieces on there, and still, like he said, have a warranty to do that. Like, that's insane. You know what I mean? Like, anytime you like, I'm a truck guy or whatever, Rams and everything else, but sometimes I want to re-gear my truck. Well, the warranty's void. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of one of those things where you can do all this stuff to these cars, and still, you go back there and something happens, here, we're going to give you a brand new one. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of pretty insane to make that kind of power and still have a warranty that stands behind it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's purely fantasy from just a few years ago. You never would have thought this.
One of the coolest things we do at some events are our thrill rides.
Oh yeah.
So having the average consumer get into a car and get to be taken around, drifted around a parking lot is eye-opening for them.
Oh, you warp their mind,
right?
Is what happens.
And we're doing that with those cars all day long. It's not a race car, it's a car off of our factory floor, and we're there for 10 hours a day, 3 to 4 days out of the event.
Sure, you're smoking some tires up though, but yeah,
we're changing tires for sure.
Well, yeah, but that speaks volumes for the confidence you have in the build quality to beat it up in public display over and over and over and over, and still it asks for more.
Yes.
We used to hear stories about magazine car tests where it's like, you got 3 drag passes out of this, and the clutch was smoked, everybody had to go home. It's done. Put the toys away. But now you're hanging it all out there in full view.
And drive it home.
Right, yeah,
and drive it
right,
home,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
we have plenty of guys drive their car to the track, race, and then drive home.
Yeah, it's a different world, man. I love it. I'm so glad that there's such support from the factory level, to put the parts out there in the cars. And in your case, how did the end of the year go for you as far as your race program?
End of the year was a little tough. We started off really strong. We won 3 races this year, and and then the countdown, we had to change the clutch combinations, some different things like that. And we have a brand new Hellcat body that we just debuted when Mopar come out in Denver. And me and Jack Beckman were running it this year, and we have yet to put a race win on it. So, I mean, that's the first thing right off the bat we want to do next year. Yep. Coming into the 19th season, we need to pull down a win, to just say, hey, we won in this Hellcat, because the body is amazing. Basically, you go out there and it's the parachutes, just even getting them, they brought them out to get them in fresh air, so we're stopping faster. A lot of safety stuff went into this new design in the body, with the burst panel. I mean, it's basically, it looks like a latch that unfolds, and it's up more near where the burst panels are on the supercharger and different things like that. So it's letting that energy go in the right places and right areas, which for me is huge, because you think about like a firecracker. When you hold it in your hand and you close your hands and blow your fingers off, right? But you let that energy go and it'll burn you, right? So like the same kind of thing with those Fuel Funny cars. That stuff's enclosed and it's a lot of energy in there, so that's got to go somewhere. So Nero, our engineer at Mopar, and Dodge, and they thought about some of that kind of stuff and the safety and making us safer and all that kind of stuff, along with having a better aerodynamics with it. It's got a big huge splitter on the front of it, and the nose just lays over, I mean, it's sick and fast looking. But the thing about it is it's just a lot of thought. Obviously a lot of money went into it, but a lot lot of thought process, you know, to make these cars better, faster, and safer. And you know, it's just a matter of time before we do pull that win down, you know, and you know, just put it up in the history books. And I sure hope it's me, because all of my teammates are all going to have four Hellcats next year. So you know, I want to be the first one to do that. You know, I've been able to set a lot of milestones in my career. You know, I've been out here with Don Schumacher Racing, first ever in the 3 seconds, first ever in the 380s, and missed the 370s by just one run. And I was right there. We ran them both side by side, and he got to the finish line before me. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where, you know, we've always been setting milestones, and I've been very fortunate with Dickie Venables and some of my other crew chiefs to be able to set, I think, 8 or 10 national records in the last couple of years. And like, you're just always throwing down, you're always running hard, you're always breaking the barriers. And just knowing that we're able to do that in a Mopar, and we're really truly running our parts and pieces that we're spitting out there at the shop, and the Mopar and everything else is helping us build some of that stuff. It just goes to show you that, you know, it takes good parts and pieces to kind of run like that and perform like that, you know, and it's, you know, it's just not everybody can do it, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it takes good people around you, obviously a lot of good engineers, a lot of people that are smarter than me. You know, they tell me all the time, you say, you're brave, right? And I'm like, you know, there's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. I just don't know which side I'm on some days, you know? But
you
it's...
know, the way I look at it is everybody in the whole organization has to be at top level.
For sure.
You know,
I mean,
because
like,
you can have the best chassis in the world, but if the guy can't drive it, or if the engine doesn't make the power. So I mean, that's what's so fascinating to me about that sport, is every single step of the development to going down the track is somebody at the top of their game.
And you put it in perspective, there's over 7 billion people out here, and there's probably 50 of us that get to drive, and there's probably 150, well, maybe probably 300 people that really get to wrench on them, tune them, work on them in the world. You know what I mean? So it's a small niche, elite group of people that really get to be involved in something this extreme. You know, and that's what I can't get past to people, is like, this is one of the most extreme sports you'll ever be able to be around. And, you know, everybody talks about, you know, motocross and different things like that. That's cool, but until you've been to a drag race and see 2 Fuel Funny cars leave the starting line and stood behind them, you don't understand what extreme is. You can't watch it on TV and make your TV fall, you know, rattle and fall on the floor. No. There's just no way to describe it to somebody to show them how powerful these race cars are. Yeah. You know, it's some seismologists came out, and it was a 2.3 on the Richter scale. It thumps the ground that hard.
I totally believe it. Yeah.
When these Fuel Funny cars leave, you know, and I mean, there's just no replacement for it. It's raw horsepower right now, and you know, I've been able to, you know, skydive, drive monster trucks, drag boats, you know, circle track cars, and there's just no replacement for it. You cannot get that fix anywhere else. You know?
What I really love is I remember being at Pomona one year, and a guy brought his 2 young kids out with him, and it was a qualifying run. It was going to be the first top fuel cars down the track, and as they go, right, the kids don't hold their ears; they hold their chest. Yeah. You know, because that's how you feel it,
and it changes every organ of your body.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you get blown away.
It shakes everything.
Yeah.
I like to tell people that. So, for instance, tonight, the Drag Illustrated after party, powered by Dodge. So when you're in a club and you feel that subwoofer on your chest, times that by 100. Right. And that's close to what it feels like.
And make it a much better song.
Right.
All right, well, listen, Matt, Eddie, thanks so much for joining us here today. I wish you continued success with the race program and the cars and the parts program.
Thank you.
As enthusiasts, we love all of it, so we really
well,
appreciate
you know,
it.
we got a lot of good people and sponsors around us, and that's what happens when you surround yourself with good people and parts. Hopefully good things happen.
Absolutely. Good things are happening here at the PRI Show 2018.